Below 7, you will not find any child that tells you that the way they run around and jump and hop and skip is hard. So we're dealing with a sickness, Vanja.
It's not punishment to burn off what you ate the night before.
Yes, it is punishment because they were taught to punish themselves. And they shouldn't be talking about general health and fitness and 150 minutes of cardio, which is nonsense. And so the takeaway here, Vanja, we don't know what health is.
And the industry isn't fixing it.
Okay, Vanja, the industry cannot fix it. Bodybuilding ought to stay in their lane. Stay in their lane. Stay in their lane. What's happening? My name is Albert. Vanja, Vanja, it's nice to meet you. Vanja, I just saw your video. It happens to be the best video I've ever come across in my entire life regarding the fitness industry. Plus more, I'm going to dive into this deep now. Ivana, I'm 61 years old, and what I want to do is feed you some nuggets because you're the perfect one. I'm going to feed you some insights.
Fitness isn't just exercise, it's life. Now, this is something that I need everyone to hear. Movement isn't something that you do, it is something that you are.
Bingo, and right there, my answer to that is watch children. Vanja, my immediate response is that since we're not doing that, since we're thinking that fitness ought to be scheduled in, then watch children. Watch how they're hopping and skipping everywhere. But, Vanja, here's the key. You have to watch these children below the age 7. Maybe 8, maybe 9. And the reason why I'm saying at that age is because they're not contaminated yet. They're not all comparing. They're not doing the things that we do. And so when you watch these children, you're going to see that there's no, no pain, no gain, oh, I'm suffering, or fitness, you have to suffer through it. You're not hearing any of that stuff. And so they're the free ones who are moving their bodies naturally. And so now, Vanja, by the age 7, by age 7 and 8, you'll start hearing them. If you're around kids, because I'm around kids constantly and I study them, that's when by 7, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to do that. That looks hard. Below 7, you will not find any child that tells you that the way they run around and jump and hop and skip is hard. They don't know that it's difficult because they don't have that comparative measure with them. So you brought to the table.
Toddlers are the perfect example. If you have children, watch them move. They squat ass to grass, they put their knees over their toes, they roll, crawl, flex, extend, twist and bend in every single direction. They don't think about it, they just do it.
Bingo, they just do it, right, Vanja? They're moving naturally. But what happened to us was that we have been contaminated from the age 7 up with comparisons. Oh, this is right, this is wrong, I like this, I don't like that, this is this and this is that. And we're stuck there now. Because the 7-year-old that I'm around, Vanja, he tells me at 2 p.m. I'm tired. And where did he get that from? Mom, Dad, oh, I'm tired. He's starting to tell me, Vanja, that that's hard. I can't do that. And bingo, there it is. And that happens at that age. So what I'm talking about precedes the bodybuilding. Even if bodybuilding wasn't there, we'll still be faced with the same problem because it's a culturalistic conditioning issue that we're all suffering from.
But your body doesn't give a shit about your six-pack. That's
right, Vanja. Our body does not give a shit about our six-pack. However, we've been taught to chase visuals. We've been taught since little. Think about it. No child under 7 is saying, she's prettier than that one, and that one is prettier than this one. You won't find it. If you find it, please let me know, because that happens later on. And what they do is that these kids, they pick up the spiel from their surroundings. If a child hears somebody saying that that person is more handsome than that one, that child will repeat it at some point.
Your body wants to move well.
That's right, Vanja. I mentioned David Goggins because he's doing incredible things, but at the expense of losing his kneecaps over it and now breaking bones. And now he is known for being one to do incredible things while injured. Now, take a look at what our society is picking up.
They think that being shredded is the pinnacle of health. Meanwhile, they can't even touch their own damn toes.
That's right, Vanja, because we were taught that way. We were taught to judge by the visuals. And thanks to our contaminated English language, that puts us in that position with words that have degrees. Look, she's pretty, but this girl is prettier, and this girl is the prettiest. Once we do that, even though we tell each other, don't compare yourself to yourself, that's impossible, because if the degrees of words are there for us to judge the outside, then we are going to inevitably compare, but constantly, and there's no way out of it. Unless you stick with me and see a little bit more that these things that we are doing are freaking inbound. We grew up this way.
They think that being shredded is the pinnacle of health.
Okay, so I repeated that so that I can add more to it, Vanja, because the word health is out. I don't use that word at all, because if you really take a look at what's happening, Vanja, we don't know what healthy is. What's health? We don't know. If we really break it down, we can see easily a whole bunch of young people who die, who are athletes, who are in shape, who take their vitamins, and then a whole bunch of like the opposite, where they live okay to 70 and 80 that are not doing it. And so we really can't define health anymore. I say the same thing, Vanja, about natural. It's out. I do not refer to natural. I do not speak it at all, only because I really don't know what natural is. Think about it. 30, 40 years ago, there was no such thing as these freaking vegan hamburgers, plant-based hamburgers and all that stuff. And so the people back then will look at us and say, that's not natural, man. They had access to more organic food. If we just imagine 60 years or 100 years ago, whatever we say about natural is out the window for them, Vanja. Because right now we have the organic toilet paper now, and so natural this, natural potato chips, bro, that's in a bag with an expiration date. And so we're going, yeah, that's natural, man. And so the takeaway here, Vanja, we don't know what health is. What we know is that we have 600 plus muscles, right? And we ought to move those muscles, and that's it. Then the next category is to play with health, but I don't know, because if you speak to a carnivore, Vanja, oh man, ever since I turned to meat, oh, my health problems went away. And then you ask a fruitarian and they'll say the exact same thing. You ask someone that fasts all the time, they'll say the exact same thing. You ask a guy that drinks his urine, oh my God, man, my health is so good, you know? And so it keeps going and keeps going. So what's health? I don't know. And so that's out.
They don't sell you health, they sell you shame and a six-pack plan. This obsession is damaging. It fuels disordered eating, it destroys self-worth, it keeps you stuck in an endless loop of comparison.
Vanja, it has to. It has to, because as long as we are guided by images, and I don't have that, like imagine, I want a six-pack. And I'm already told that diet is responsible for me being able to see the abs, because what's covering it is fat. And so guess what that means? Guess what that means? This means now I'm going to freaking not eat. And I am going to not eat until I see this six-pack that I want so bad. So it's inevitable. Because as long as we are following the visuals, we're destined, because the fitness realm, period, is backed up by restrictions, man. You have to freaking subtract, bro. Lower calories. You can't eat this. You can't eat that.
But your body doesn't give a shit about your six-pack.
But it'll be gone after lunch, bro, or after breakfast. And so that's something to carry, because if there's anyone who has worked for a six-pack like I have, in the morning, man, I'll tighten up and you see a full six-pack. But after breakfast, it's gone. And then to maintain it takes a lot of work that requires me to freaking be hungry all the time and feeling weak, all for the looks of it. And so now I have a 4-pack that only shows when I squeeze really tightly, but I have energy all the time. There's more clarity. I do not experience that bodybuilding fog that they talk about where they're kind of confused or they're going to go up on stage and they're freaking wobbling up stage because they have no energy left in them. I'm not taking the diuretic things that they do to freaking flush out as much water as possible because the more water out of you, the more definition you see. I'm not doing any of that stuff. The only thing I take is creatine. I do not take any enhancements whatsoever. And so this here is a point where it looks like, Vanja, that people have to go through their shit in order to wake up. Like somebody has to catch it during something tragic that happens to them. Unfortunately, that's the way it works because most people won't get the message by a message. They'll get the message like the alcoholic does where, you know, they really, really hit bottom and then they go, oh my God, look at what I've done to my life. After they live like that for 20 years, they're able to see it here. But they couldn't see it for the whole 20 years. It's the same thing, Vanja, but maybe your voice and the way you're delivering things and the way it's making so much sense could piss enough people off to sanity. And that now, oh, wait a minute, you know, let me mix it up, which is going to be my message. To mix up the fitness that's in the gyms with the machines, with the stiff machines, and mix that up with life. So
it is a hollow promise that if you just looked fit enough, you'd be happy, you'd be accepted. But you won't be, because that industry thrives on making sure that you never feel like you're good enough.
Oh, Vanja, let me tell you, I've made a few videos via body dysmorphia because I suffered from that. And so I spent as much time showing my body in different colors, black, blue, white. I sat with my belly out and then I freaking tightened up. I took before and after pictures as though they were a year apart when I took the pictures the same exact day. I got so deep with body dysmorphia. However, I explained how we are led by images and that we are led by them. We're controlled by what we see. And we judge by what we see. But we have to cut that out if we want to get rid of this body dysmorphia and we want to live normal, practical lives.
Real fitness isn't confined to your 45-minute HIIT class.
Vanja. Okay, so here is where I come in to mix things up. Because what's happening is that the bodybuilder, that's pretty much all they do. They'll say, yo, man, I ain't got no time, man. I'm working, I'm doing my social media. I'm working 18 hours a day. And, you know, I hit the gym for an hour and that's all they could do. And so how do we get the bodybuilder that's freaking constructed that way, that has their structure laid out to clean the house, for example? Because that's exercise, bro. I could also say take the stairs like I do. Because I take the stairs everywhere. I take the stairs everywhere because I support what you're saying. I've been making videos freaking pretty much repeating every single thing that you said through your entire video across the 2 years that I've been making freaking videos.
It's not punishment to burn off what you ate the night before.
Yes, it is punishment because they were taught to punish themselves. Vanja, we live in the reward and punishment system. That's our system. We are built on the reward and punishment system. So we will punish ourselves even if it doesn't make any sense. Watch this, Vanja. Watch this. It's Friday. I see a cake. I say, that cake has my name on it. And then I ponder, I should have it, right? I deserve it, right? And all I have to do is freaking get someone to substantiate that. And I'm freaking now eating the cake. And so now maybe it took me 15 minutes to finally decide to have the cake on Friday. But now here's the sickness. On Saturday, I regret what I freaking decided to do. So we're dealing with a sickness, Vanja. We're dealing with, because this does not make any sense. The cake had my name on it on Friday. I had it and I enjoyed it. And then Saturday, now I'm punishing myself, running on the treadmill for 2 hours to make up for what I did to myself yesterday with guilt. Now, this is freaking handed down to me because it makes no sense, Vanja. If you really break it down, that's not a mishap like people say. Oh, if you have a cake or a piece of whatever on Friday, that's a mishap. So get on the treadmill the next day and run for an hour. No, remember that you said yes yesterday to the cake that you really wanted. And so we have to find a way, Vanja, which is not easy, to continue to bring the message in a way where people can marinate into seeing how sick that is, and maybe removing the reward and punishment system. Because as long as that system is there, we're going to consistently reward ourselves. Oh yeah, I ran 5 miles, so I deserve that pizza. Or punish ourselves. Oh, because I ran 5 miles and I ate the pizza, now I lost everything and I'm going to lose my 6-pack. And so, bro, the sickness is what we have to take a look at.
Movement is the most human thing you can do. It's your natural state. It's how you express yourself. It's how you interact with the world around you.
Exactly, Vanja. But the problem, which you discuss later, is that that's not our lives. Our lives are the escalators, the elevator, to be served at a restaurant, to drive the car to the restaurant. Never mind walking anywhere anymore, because there's always an excuse of I don't have the time to be served fast. We live in this kind of like I want it now, fast food, fast this, fast that. The type of lives that we live, it doesn't coincide with what you're saying yet. For me, I get what you're saying, which is the reason why I'm making this video, which is the reason why I run and jump and I work out with, Vanja, I work out with various fitness influencers. And I work out with various fitness influencers to make a point that I'm never going to follow any kind of structured system, a method, a practice. And so I'll work out with a girl and she's explosive. I'll work out with another girl and she's military style. And then I'll work out with the bodybuilders too. But while I'm doing curls, I'm also jogging. So I'm freaking moving like this. And then sometimes I go slow. And so what I'm doing is that I'm mixing up the fitness realm with my world, where I'll clean the house and I'll take the stairs, and I'm constantly playing with kids. Oh my God, a big portion of my life is playing with kids at a playground. So I'm constantly running, jumping, hopping, going under stuff, crawling. I'm crawling all the time because these kids are small and they're going under stuff and I'm following them. And so that's how I've managed to coincide the fitness realm along with maintaining an active life, but throughout the day. And not like what you said, where you schedule an appointment at 7 o'clock, and worse, Vanja, you don't schedule, you call the trainer to find out when am I working out. And so now you're subject to someone else to tell you what you ought to do with the 600 plus muscles that you were born with.
If you have to force yourself to work out because you hate it, because you see it as punishment, because you see it as something separate from life, then you've missed the point.
Vanja, check this out. My brother, when I was a kid, used to punish me through doing push-ups that he learned from the army. Just so you can see how deep this goes, man. It goes back centuries probably, where we associate fitness with punishment, moving the body with punishment. And so therefore, because I grew up that way, when my brother used to tell me, give me 50, because I showed up late or whatever the punishment was, I used to naturally, because I associated push-ups with punishment. But now if you told me do 50 push-ups, I'll give you 100. Because now I'm not punishing anymore, Vanja. So a real big takeaway from this is to quit the punishment system. Stop punishing at the restaurants. Stop rewarding just because someone did something your way. What you do is that you just do the same thing all the time without the need to ever punish someone or thinking that, oh, they deserve the punishment. No. When I go to a restaurant, Vanja, and they serve me crappy, I double the tip sometime. Because in my mind, I say, well, maybe she's having a bad time, and so I'm going to freaking be a sport. I'm not going to punish. I won't punish whatsoever. But if you take a look at fitness, the Rocky movies, no pain, no gain, and they made it look like punishment constantly. And the screaming behind the exercising. Oh, you're doing that. It looks like the freaking person's dying. But when I exert myself, I'm not in pain. I'm not suffering. I'm not struggling. But there was a time where I thought that it was a struggle, that it hurt, that exercise required pain. Vanja, as long as anyone thinks that exercising requires pain, then they will associate it with suffering. And they will think that now they have to go to the gym and suffer through it to get out to the other side in order to feel good about it. Now, if you take a look at this, Vanja, most of us that exercise regularly feel fantastic all the time. So where did that come from, Vanja? To associate exercising with punishment and pain and suffering and struggle, where did that come from? Because I'll tell you right now, it came from our culturalistic values.
Movement must be integrated. It should be part of who you are. It should be how you play with your kids, how you walk the dog, how you carry the groceries, how you get up off the floor, how you dance, how you live your life.
Vanja, I make it a point to say that our lives are imbalanced, and what I've done is that I've made videos where I've carried uneven bags up and down stairs that I staged. And this is the way that I try to do what you're doing, where I started carrying boxes, carrying odd things. This right here is more realistic to what I have to do sometimes, be awkward, in order for me to, I bet you all been through this more than you worked out. In order to share the same message that you're sharing, which is that life is really unbalanced, is what you're saying. And so if anyone went to the grocery store right now and they came home with 2 shopping bags, those shopping bags will not weigh the same. And so what I did was that I started to make my workouts in balance, which is what you're talking about.
We evolved to move constantly, to squat, 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 crawl, 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 climb, 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 run, 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 carry, 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 dance. Baby, work it. But modern life stripped that away. Now we sit in cars, in chairs, on couches. We have become movement illiterate.
Movement illiterate. Vanja, I love that so much, man. I can speak volumes on this freaking illiteracy that we're carrying. One example is needing to ask someone, so how many should I do? Oh, it's Monday. What are we working today? And another person decides what this body ought to do. I'll tell you, Vanja, there are times where when I wake up, I feel like running. There are times where I'm like, wait a minute, the core. Or there's times where, oh my God. And so this is why my fitness journey is so vast, because my body decides. I do not allow the mind, because let me tell you what's messing things up. We're taught the mind, use the mind over matter, another mind power, and the mind power. And we're playing with the mind. And what we're doing is that we're freaking crushing our innate system that can run, jump naturally. And it'll want to go out for walks. It'll want to jump. It'll want to, hey, kids, let's go to the playground. It's freaking stepping on us doing that because our mind is freaking involved and it's interfering with our innate system.
And the industry isn't fixing it. They're just selling you a sanitized, artificial version of movement.
Okay, Vanja, the industry cannot fix it. They can't. They don't know how because they grew into it like that. They grew into the protein powders and the stuff that they're taking now. Any kid that's born now is going to be directly introduced to the things that they're doing for bodybuilding now at this point. But I didn't grow up with the enhancement stuff. I didn't grow up with it. But these kids now, and so the industry can't fix it. They don't even know it. You have to think about it like this, Vanja. I'm a skinny kid and everyone's laughing at me in school and I'm feeling bad about it. And then freaking Carlos, he got muscles and everyone's saying, look at Carlos, wow, he was so strong. And now I'm feeling like a wimp. And so now I'm going to want to make up for it depending on how I feel like making up for it. One, making a lot of money. One, dressing better or whatever. Or another one, fitness. And so now I don't want to be called a wimp anymore. And so now I'm going to freaking do what Carlos is doing. Carlos is now going to introduce me to bodybuilding. I'm going to follow Carlos because everyone is freaking, they love Carlos. He's freaking built, man. And freaking he's the man. And they turn to him for protection, not me, bro. And so now Carlos is taking the gear and all the stuff And guess what I'm going to do? So the industry cannot fix it.
Machines stacked up in rows, treadmills like hamster wheels, artificial, linear, restrictive. This is not human, this is not natural, and this is not life.
Vanja, I turned to this guy, Coach Blue. He introduced something called hybrid training, which is a start from what you're talking about. He looks like a bodybuilder. This guy does flips. He's incredible.
You see this shit right here? That's how I want to move even when I'm 40 years old. I don't mean I need to be doing flips all the time, but I want to move as a functional human being, powerful, healthy, and mobile. But for that to happen, I need to do less of this and more of this.
Check out Coach Blue, because this guy, he turned me on to the word hybrid fitness. Now, hybrid fitness is where you go in and you take the shoulder press, but now you're going to do the shoulder press and you're going to do lunges at the same time. You're also going to take the bar and do static moves, which is a bodybuilding protocol to hold static. But what you're going to do is hold them and you're going to twist the bar and do lunges while you're twisting the bar, Vanja. And so to incorporate now, to mix, to marry.
You want real health? Then integrate movement into your life. Make it a part of your identity.
Oh yeah, movement is part of my identity.
You are movement. If you have to schedule it in like a dentist appointment, you've missed the point. Be the person who moves, who plays, who explores, who never stops learning how to use their body. We need to stop pretending that everyone has the same time, the same resources, the same genetics.
Bingo, same genetics. If there's any freaking comment that I ever had was them freaking comparing me to someone else with superior genetics or something, or vice versa. And I kept telling them, stop comparing this channel. I'm not a bodybuilder. I had to tell people over and over and over, because they would look at me doing an exercise and they'll call it stupid because they're used to their freaking protocol of doing something the standard way. And so I couldn't tell you how many times I tried to share to someone that this funny looking exercise that you see right here, it helps me climbing. It helps me to get the core strong, because in order to climb, Vanja, you need a strong core, because sometimes when I'm bouldering, I'm like this or I'm like that. I have 1 foot high and the grip strength has to be really, really, really tight. And so these weird exercises that I do correspond to my life. And so these guys getting this, never. They can't get it, which is another problem we have, because they're so stuck with thinking that someone else that gave them the answer is the answer. They can't freaking move away from it. And so if science told them what they're saying, they'll go according to science. And so they'll never be able to see that a lot of the exercises that we do is to function outside in the real world.
We need to stop selling people on the idea that they're failures if they can't devote their lives to training. Fitness should serve you, not consume you.
Vanja, somebody told me, because I was talking about the pistol squat, oh, your knees, oh, your ankles, oh, he gave me such a freaking scientific delivery of everything that was going to happen to me. Now, that guy, I couldn't speak to anymore, Vanja. I couldn't, because he was convinced that what I was doing was going to end up hurting me. Now, this was 4, 5, 6 years ago. And when he saw me do the pistol squat, he unfriended me.
If you want to be safe, then get strong in unsafe positions. Expose yourself to load in those so-called dangerous positions. Build strength there. Build capacity there. That is how you bulletproof yourself.
Exactly. And I like to add balance. Stand on one leg. Do a lot of things for balance.
This is something that you will do for the rest of your life. It has to evolve with you. Your goals will change. Your body will change. But the commitment to moving well, to staying strong, to exploring your capacity, that will never end.
Vanja, a big subject that I continually discuss is how I am aging gracefully, because if you take a look at what's going on in the market, is reversing aging. Everything. Take this cream and this pill and do this to reverse it. And so there's no one except me that I've ever come across that talks about aging gracefully. And I repeated this throughout mostly all my videos how I'm making sure that I am 61 and I am going to age gracefully. And one way I do that, Vanja, is that at the top of the month, I pose off and show my muscles. Now, I do this backwards. Most people have an aim to gain muscle, but my aim is to exercise for the entire month and then see what that effort, what I did for the whole month has paid off into. And so it's not that I don't like muscles or don't want them, because muscle is an indicator that I am moving my body and that I have developed strength and fortitude and all that good stuff. But it's not the prime aim for me to gain muscle or for the looks, even though having muscles for the looks is fantastic, because it's a great feeling when someone that I don't know tells me, hey, you work out. They don't ask me. They say, you work out. And I go, yeah, I work out. And they go, where do you work out? And I go, at my home gym. And they're like, wow, man, you look really fit. You look athletic, because I carry an athletic build. And so that feels so good, but it's not primary. It's not in order for me to be liked, even though I like it. And so that's in its proper place is what I'm trying to say. And so, Vanja, if you take a look at my gym, I'm doing exactly what you're talking about. I'm making fitness work for me at my own place, where I can work out whenever. I don't have to wait for a machine. And first of all, I don't like those freaking machines. I can't work out with those machines, those stiff machines. But now, Vanja, it's important for me to convey here that the bodybuilding realm has a place. And so the message for the bodybuilders is to stay in your lane. Because what's happening here, and the problem that you're sharing, is that they've crossed their lanes into the normal realm, and now these normal people are bodybuilding and taking the things that they are taking and then hurting themselves. And because they're following the bodybuilder, which the bodybuilder's design is to bodybuild, then so be it, which is cool. It's a sport, and that bodybuilding realm requires all the things that they do, their diet, their strict diets, the things that they take, and the type of loads that they handle. That's for the bodybuilding realm. But like baseball should not be mixed up with basketball, and it's not. They're separate. And so bodybuilding ought to stay in their lane. And they shouldn't be talking about general health and fitness and 150 minutes of cardio, which is nonsense. They're actually calculating, Vanja. They're giving an amount that you should run, which is the reason why I don't count, because I'm not going to now subject this body to a number. And so for me, there's no practice, there's no system, there's nothing to follow, and I don't follow anyone.
Movement isn't a phase, it is a way of life. And until people see that, they'll keep falling for the same marketing tricks that keep them stuck.
Exactly. And so subscribe to Vanja. Vanja, you're so awesome. I'm going to leave it here. Your video is amazing. And so until the next one, catch ya.
It's like teaching someone to drive by letting them practice only in empty parking lots. And then you're shocked when they crash the first time they hit real traffic. Training only in safe ranges on fixed machines with no complexity is the same thing. You are not building resilience, you are building a glass body.